Thank you for taking the time to watch this introduction, and more importantly, thank you for your hard work and commitment to ministry in the School of Education. One of the things which attracted me to a career in education initially was the idea that no 2 days would ever be the same. In the dynamic world of education, things are always changing. In light of the last 12 months, however, the adage, "Be careful what you wish for," comes to mind. We are in the midst of seismic changes in the system of education, as well as in people's expectations about it. Accountability is at the top of everyone's list, but more than that, people are openly questioning the value of traditional teacher education and of trained teachers in general. It is a challenging time in education, and truly, hasn't education always been challenging? At a time like this, we need to be intentional in getting a seat at the table of dialogue. We need to utilize our God-given creativity and intellect to form new programs and new delivery systems. And we need to be transparent in our commitment to excellence in mind, body, and spirit, in service to Christ, in the church, and in the world, through collaboration with one another, as well as with other vital stakeholders throughout the world. One of the things that helps me when I begin to feel overwhelmed by all that is coming at me, and the speed and frequency with which it is coming, is to gain a sense of perspective. 2012 is not the first point in history when there have been challenging times, and I gain both peace and a plan when I look in history at the situations which others have faced. For this introduction, I would like to reference the book of Daniel from the Old Testament scriptures. If you are not familiar with the story, let me summarize some key details and themes. The first part of the book is a narrative dealing with the story of Daniel and other Jews who are captured and brought into Babylonian captivity. While there, Babylon's King Nebuchadnezzar demonstrates some pretty unrealistic expectations for the people of his country, or at least the Jewish captives, including Daniel and his friends, who are being educated to serve the king and his kingdom. The book of Daniel includes some memorable highlights, among them a bout in the lion's den for the book's namesake, and some heated moments in the fiery furnace for Daniel's friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. By comparison, my days are relatively uneventful, yet it could be said that the world of education is in the hot seat too. How do we respond? The book of Daniel highlights some key themes which I would like to utilize for this introduction. If we seek to glorify God in all we do in our work here in the School of Education, we would do well to take our lead from Daniel and his friends. Rely solely upon God at all times. Demonstrate courage under fire, sometimes literally, and realize the impact of our commitment and witness on those around us. Certainly, there will be challenges ahead for education, as there have been throughout history. And as always, as a school, we have several options. Ignore reality, continue to do what we have always done and hope for the best, or choose to fire up and face the new day. Colleagues in the School of Education, I am asking each of you to fire up. The Fire Up initiative is a new way in which each team member in the School of Education will formulate goals for their work and ministry. These tools will assist in tracking our professional growth and development, as well as in determining new and continuing responsibilities and assignments, rank and promotion, and the like. Today I wish to take a few minutes to explain each of the 4 components here. Please keep in mind that you will be receiving more detailed written explanations shortly. F stands for fitness in mind, body, and spirit. Concordia's very mission connects to the development of mind, body, and spirit. We in the School of Education need to embrace those priorities for ourselves as well. Like the captives in Babylon, we will be found exceptional when we embrace our whole personhood, the spiritual, the intellectual, the physical, the social. For this component within the Fire Up initiative, team members will identify annual targets for growth. Periodically, I will share opportunities for each of you to consider, including means to grow spiritually in the body of Christ, support structures for exercise, weight loss, or health screenings, tools to monitor and discipline your online activity, and social connections for you, your friends, and your family. The I in Fire Up stands for intentional service. This component underscores Concordia's emphasis on Christian service and leadership. How are you doing here? In my biblical reference, Daniel was gifted by God to interpret dreams. And in the book of Daniel, chapter 2, he utilized that gift in a powerful way to help King Nebuchadnezzar, while the others who fell short were cut into pieces and their houses were turned into piles of rubble. Wow. Again, the power of perspective. Full-time faculty members who are not pursuing a terminal degree will be asked to chronicle their active participation in a university committee, as well as detail their accomplishments for the year in that role. All School of Education team members, faculty, and staff will be encouraged to find ways in their church or community through which they can be of service to others. The R represents research and innovation. In order to move forward in this changing world of education, the School of Education needs to be a change agent as well. Faculty who have chosen the +3 scholarship track will delineate their scholarship action plan in writing and identify the product or culminating activity for their work in that year. Both faculty and staff members in the School of Education will articulate individual and team connections to our school's strategic plan so that we can keep moving forward and have a dynamic impact in ministry and mission. The E of Fire Up is educational practice. By our very namesake, the School of Education, we should be modeling the best and most effective teaching on campus. To grow in this area, I am compiling teaching profiles for each faculty member based upon cumulative course evaluation data. We will then use these profiles to celebrate areas of excellence and target needed areas of development. I plan to recognize School of Education faculty who are at the top of their game in a single measure from the course surveys and find ways for them to share their techniques and approaches with others. I also intend to utilize a regular and systematic schedule for classroom observations of teaching, as well as review of staff work performance, both formal and informal, so that we can continue to grow and excel in these vital elements of our work. No matter what your views on collective bargaining for Wisconsin's teachers, or the future of testing, licensing, or reporting of student data, this is a new era for education. I am humbled and blessed to be standing with you in this important work. The Fire Up initiative is designed to keep us all focused, not on the endless criticisms and arguments, but on the mission of this university, the ways in which we can serve those around us, the means through which we can invest our gifts and talents, and the diligence and commitment with which we can approach our work every day. Like Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, we will fully rely on God, be courageous, and pray that our witness can be a benefit to others. as we seek fitness in mind, body, and spirit, intentional service, research and innovation, and the best educational practice, we do it all to God's glory, looking up to heaven and praising Him. The months of February and March will give you a chance to become fully informed about the Fire Up initiative. During this time, I will ask you to begin drafting your personal goals and plans. In April, I request that each ministry team engage in conversations about this initiative. And in May and June, I look forward to sitting down with each member of the School of Education team in order to discuss and confirm your individual plan. At any point, if you have questions or concerns, I invite you to talk with your team leader or with me directly. If you do not believe that you wish to fire up for the challenges of the 21st century, I am willing to help you transition to other work opportunities elsewhere. 21st century education may be radically different than the school experiences that we had, so it will require all that we have been given. There are many exciting opportunities for growth and adaptation ahead. I hope you will fire up with me so that we and others can respond as King Nebuchadnezzar did in Daniel chapter 3. Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, for no other God can save in this way.